Hey everyone, it's Bill with the Vinylverse. How you doing? This video is going to be another vinyl grabs. Just going to show some of my recent pickups. First though, I want to mention this shirt. A while back I had asked Dylan at Noble Records if he was selling his shirts, and he said he was, so I bought one off him, and it just arrived. So I wanted to show my support for Noble Records. Dylan's a great guy. Probably the hardest working vinyl collector there is. He's got his pop-up business where he goes around Charlotte, North Carolina, different cafes and such, and does pop-ups where he sells his inventory. So great guy, great channel. I'll put a link to his channel below so you can check him out if you're not familiar. So yeah, check him out. So let's see. I got a stack here to show. These first two I've shown already in a different video, but for those who haven't seen that video, I just wanted to show them here. And this was VCLT from Jeff Kempen. I've listened to both of these. It's John Lee Hooker, Don't Turn Me From Your Door. John Lee Hooker Sings the Blues. And Buddy Guy, First Time I Met the Blues, 1958, 1963 recordings. Wow, these are both just fantastic albums, especially this Buddy Guy. I had a very, very small blues collection to start with, and Jeff has expanded my horizons quite a bit. This Buddy Guy is wonderful. Really recommend both of these. This one especially. Really, really enjoy it. So Jeff, thanks again. I am definitely enjoying those. Now I have a very interesting jazz album here. If you can see that, it's John Coltrane and Eric Dolphy, Two Giants Together. It's a rare live performance from 1962. It says down here, my favorite things, improvisation and Miles Mode. So those are the tracks on here. Side A is my favorite things. This is a really, really great recording, really great concert. This is from France. It's a France recording. Although the concert was recorded in New York, Greenwich Village in 1962. But this is a French pressing on music disc. So basically it is Coltrane's quartet plus Eric Dolphy. So of course you have John Coltrane on tenor and soprano saxophone, Eric Dolphy on alto saxophone and flute, and then you have Coltrane's other members of his band, McCoy Tyner on piano, Jimmy Garrison on bass, and the great Elvin Drums on drums. So I was really happy to find this one, and for relatively cheap. It's wonderful. So 1962, Coltrane isn't really too far to the free jazz or avant-garde, but he there's maybe a little tinge of it in this, but this is straight ahead, just great jazz, and really, really wonderful. They really cook on this album, so I recommend this. I don't know what year the pressing came out. I can't really find out. Haven't been able to find that out, but it's a great live performance. And I'm not certain how frequently John Coltrane and Eric Dolphy played together. So it says Two Giants Together, rare live performance in 1962. Wonderful record. Okay, next. Steve Hackett Cured. Steve Hackett former guitarist from Genesis. This is, I think this is a 1981 release on Charisma. So I've had this on CD for years. It's not a favorite album of his, but I'm trying to get a lot of his stuff on vinyl because I really enjoy his solo work. This is a UK press, and it's the very interesting thing. It's on Charisma. Here's the inner sleeve. That is his wife at the time, Kim Poor. She used to do a lot of the artwork for his earlier albums. And as a matter of fact, I think she took this photograph. But the interesting thing about this is the record label. So Charisma, the famous Charisma label, you know, the one with the Mad Hatter. This is a black Mad Hatter label, and I had never ever seen this before. I tried doing a little research on it, and I can't find anything about this black label. I don't know how often it was used, but I found that really cool. So Steve Hackett Cured. I didn't mention this is a UK pressing. Yeah. Okay, so now I have a couple 80s releases. The first being Fleetwood Mac Mirage. Very good album. Although I haven't listened to it in a very, very, very long time. We're probably talking dozens of years. I had lent my copy of this to someone way back when, and I never got it back. So I picked this up recently for very, very cheap. It's in great condition. It's on Warner Brothers. So you got a couple hits from here were Hold Me and the great Stevie Nicks song Gypsy. So happy to have that one. And next, this is the first album I have from this artist. I have never owned any ZZ Top. So this is Eliminator. This came out in 1983, I believe. Yeah, 1983. Again, it's on Warner Brothers. You're probably all familiar with this record. Warner Brothers. So yeah, I've never owned any ZZ Top, and I found it for cheap, so thought I'd start getting some ZZ Top. Of course, this has Give Me All Your Lovin', Got Me Under Pressure, Sharp Dressed Man, Legs, TV Dinners. So great 80s ZZ Top. Happy to have this one. Now this next one is quite interesting to me. The other day, Andy Borders put out a video of some, how should we put it, some storyboard, I guess, maybe, of his drawings to the music of Uriah Heep's Come Away, Melinda. And I thought it was awesome what he did. I'll put a link to that video below for you to check out. I highly recommend it. First of all, great song, and his visual that he did for the song just works so well. So great job, Andy. I know I already commented on that video, but really great job. So I found this, and it's Uriah Heep's self-titled album. I believe it's their first album, and it happens to have the song Come Away Melinda. It's the gatefold. It's got some little damage here, so the cover's not in the best shape, and the vinyl's a little scuffed, but I was happy to pick it up on Mercury. But anyway, it has this album has Come Away Melinda on it, and this is the U.S. Release. So the UK release had a totally different album cover and title. Let's see if I can look up the title real fast because I don't remember it off the top of my head. So it's called Very Heavy, Very Humble, I guess, in a British Cockney maybe accent or something. Very heavy, very humble. That album art cover for the UK version is much better than this. I mean, this is great. Some sort of demon art here, which is very cool in itself, but the UK album cover has a very iconic image of like a webbed face shouting. Really reminds me of what was that movie? Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I don't know if you're familiar with the 70s version of that film, but it has that look to it, the webbing, and but very cool. Happy to have this one as well, and check out Annie's video. I'll put a link below. Really cool stuff. Now let's see, next this is a Soft Machine live at the Paradiso from 1969. Real Gone Music a couple weeks ago was having a blowout sale, and this was one of the releases that they had on sale, and this was $8. So it was Beth at B-Side Records who put a notice out there about the sale that made me go and look, and this is what I picked up. Very cool. So Soft Machine, very much I don't know, jazz rock, maybe a bit psychedelic, or yeah, mostly jazz rock, I'd say. So this is cool to have, and it's pretty cool vinyl. It's like a pale purple with like some sort of marble splatter, blue and pinks and purples and stuff. So, and it was on Real Gone Records. This came out in 2017, and the concert was from 1969. So these last three I'm going to show, I got off eBay auctions from Carolina Soul. They've been mentioned before throughout the VC. Great auction, great record store down in Durham, North Carolina. They've been mentioned by Andre at Linda Leg, Dave at Local Bandography, and I also heard Chris at First Pressing Goodness mention them before. So every week really they put up a couple thousand or 1,000 plus releases, and it's usually a specific genre. Like one week might be soul, one week might be blues. So this particular week it was all jazz releases, and when they put up their jazz releases, it's really good stuff. So I saw a lot that I really wanted to get. I ended up winning 3 auctions. Was hoping to win some a couple others that I really wanted, but those prices just got way too high. The 3 I won, the prices remained relatively low, so not a whole lot of activity on them, but I certainly am happy to have these. And the first is First Place by J.J. Johnson. So J.J. Johnson, the great trombonist. This came out in 1957. It's a mono release on Columbia. Excellent condition. 6i Columbia label. Performers on here, it's a great lineup, great quartet of J.J. Johnson on trombone, Paul Chambers on bass, Max Roach on drums, and Tommy Flanagan on piano. So very happy to have this one. Big fan of J.J. Johnson. Next, Chet Baker Swings Pretty. This is a compilation. It's on Sunset. It's a UK press from what year? It just came out in 1967. And this is terrific. It's got that Chet Baker, of course, West Coast jazz, the great trumpeter and sometimes singer. There's no singing on this, but the music is really, really great. There's the Sunset label. So players on this include, so of course Chet Baker on trumpet, Russ Freeman on piano, Carson Smith on bass, and Larry Bunker on drums. I only have one other Chet Baker album. It's just called Chet. But I really enjoy Chet Baker, and this is a great compilation. So happy to have this one as well. And finally, I showed this artist in another recent video. Had never picked up anything by him before, but when I did, I liked what I heard, and I said I was going to be, looking to get more, and that is Gabor's Szabo, and this album is The Sorcerer, and this came out also in 1967. The great Hungarian guitarist, Gabor Szabo. So in that last video, I had a couple comments of what I should look for when I'm looking to pick stuff up. And it was Steve Carlson that mentioned The Sorcerer. So when I saw this on eBay for Carolina Soul, I put my offer in and won the auction. So very happy to have gotten this one. It's got a little writing on the jacket there and on the back. I also bid on his Jazz Raga album, which was also recommended to me by Andrew over at Tales from the Crate. So unfortunately that one went way up, a lot higher than I wanted to spend. I couldn't keep up with the bids, but so this is on impulse. Haven't been able to listen to this one yet, but I'm looking to very soon. So that's it. That's my stack to show this time around. So thanks for sitting through this and watching. I hope everyone's doing well. It's we're coming up on the weekend here, so everyone have a good weekend and take care of yourselves. And anyone who's down in Florida and in the South, the Carolinas, or whoever's being affected by Hurricane Michael, please be safe and best of luck getting through that. Hope everything is going well for you down there. So that's it. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye now.